are watching Supatv, OpenView channel 150.
For over a year now, Supatv has called OpenView channel 150 home, bringing you fresh content 6 hours a day, 7 days a week. But as with most good things that come to an end, so does our journey on OpenView channel 150. It is with a heavy heart that I announce that this will be our last week on OpenView channel 150. Guys, it's a sad one, this one. But it will be our last week on OpenView, and Friday, it will be our last live broadcast day. We want to say thank you to OpenView for giving us this platform and this opportunity, turning all of us into superstars. Thank you, Supabets, for believing in this channel, Africa's first and only sports betting and gambling channel. I want to thank each and every staff member of Supatv, crew member. It never felt as if we were coming to work, but rather home away from home. I want to say thank you to, most importantly, our super fans, our super viewers, without whom this wouldn't have been possible. Thank you for the engagements, the interactions. Thank you for the laughs. Thank you for sharing great memories with us. Thank you for laughing with us, but mostly at us. By us, I mean mostly at me. Thank you so much for allowing us to come into your homes. We have certainly had a fantastic time with you. During this week, please do me a favor. Engage with us on our WhatsApp line 071-621-4746. Share some of your fondest memories of Supatv with us, and let's end this week with a massive bang. As always, may the odds forever be in your favor. We are Supatv, powered by Supabets.
Hello and welcome to Mosports. This is still Supatv powered by Supabets. I'm still Mo, and this is still Obi Knows, and this is still your favorite TV lifestyle sports betting show, Mosports. Almost said Mr. Tips Mosports. How are you doing, Obi?
I'm good at yourself, bro.
I'm good. Yeah. Since we're sharing great memories of your time here on Supatv, what is your most fondest memory? Would you like to answer that question now, or would you want to hold it to the end?
My guy, why so quick? Talk like I still need to think about it, Still need to think about it. So maybe if it's not today, we'll talk about it tomorrow, the next day, or the day after the next.
All right, don't forget to SMS Supatv to 30978 if you also want to join in on all the fun you can find on the Supabets website. But now, today is a Monday. If we're not talking about fixtures, we're definitely going to be looking at the news. So before we get into that, Obi knows, what should they expect on today's show?
Well, on today's show, we'll be taking a look at what has currently been trending in the world of sports. Of course, a lot of transfer news are currently taking place right now, and there's a lot of Olympic news that we need to get through as well. Of course, we'll be talking a little bit about that loss from the under-23 yesterday, but also a lot of entertaining fixtures as well that we saw yesterday. We'll be bringing it right to your doorstep once again, as usual. And
all right,
let's do the news.
All right, let's start off with the news. Well, some of the biggest news ever is that Hungry Lions.
Yeah.
It's not just the food outlet.
This guy.
No, but what if the viewers at home don't know that there's a team called Hungry Lions?
They know.
You think that the super viewers at home know there's a team called Hungry Lions?
I know our super viewers from Kimberley know a team called Hungry Lions.
Now, this team, I know that Kimberley is considered to be Northern Cape.
Yeah.
But if you look at it geographically, just geographically, it's closer to the Northwest and the Free State and the Western Cape than it is, to the Northern Cape that we think is the Northern Cape. Because when you look at the map, we think of Oscar, like within.
So when you're thinking about Kimberley, you think it's in the Free State?
Kimberley's down the road from Northwest. After Flexdorp, Kimberley. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Hungry Lions actually based in Port Moresby, and Port Moresby is a town right outside of Kimberley, and that's where the team is based. And the news that are coming out from Hungry Lions is that they've got 2 assistant coaches now coming in. Moses Pandiel, who recently just retired from playing with Hungry Lions, was part of the Hungry Lions team that got promoted to the NFD last season. and Gerrit Schalwyk, who's coming in after having led a team in the ABC Municipal League himself. So
Really?
yeah, these two players are former players rather are coming into this team, of course, with vast PSL experience. Moses Pandiel, for years we've known him for being a Bloemfontein Celtic player, Bloemfontein Celtic legend, and Gerrit Schalwyk as well. I mean, played for both Orlando Pirates and Kaizer
PSL
Chiefs.
winner.
Also a PSL winner as well. So I do think that they are bringing vast experience into this team. But in terms of coaching, the experience, I would like to see a little bit more from them, and see what they're bringing forth to the team. But this is the Northern Cape's first team in a very long time in PSL divisions. So they'll be hoping that they give themselves a very good start at the beginning of the season.
I'm just glad that Obi knows went through all of that without saying power lines and saying 23-0. This is very impressive. But talking about Gerrit Schalwyk, the moment I saw this, I was like, for him it's easy. Klerksdorp is just there. He can just, he can just leave Klerksdorp and go coach and come back home. He can work from home. He can just no, it's like more coaching from me. But let's move on. Let's go to the next story. Obi knows. So now this one I found very peculiar. How does FIFA release the dates for the PSL before the PSL releases the dates for the PSL?
Well, FIFA, of course, are the mother body of football, global football. So everything needs to be running in a time frame which is suitable to them and all the other competitions that take place, off season. So the date that they've given the PSL to kick off is the 1st of August. And the date that it's supposed to be ending is the 30th of June in 2022, right? And we do know why, or we actually don't know why, because the World Cup in 2022 has been moved to December. So not quite too sure why they're trying to bring it so early, but maybe it is, the AFCON taking place next year as well. So that could be a main focus as well. So the PSL still are mute about, the starting date. I did read on Far Post just before the show started that Royal AM did lose one of the court cases which they wanted Mato Madala, the acting CEO of the PSL, to be arrested for going against Judge Nyati's ruling, which was that the playoffs shouldn't start. And the PSL went on and started the playoffs, not obeying the ruling that was given by Judge Nyati, So the PSL have won that case. So we're just waiting to see what the next case, what the next result is going to be in the next case. I mean, we do know that there's still a case in between finding out, whether Royal AM are actually going into the PSL or Asiguhune going in there. So there's still another court battle that needs to be fought. We'll just have to wait and see when that happens and what the verdict will be.
I mean, if I was running a law firm and they were my clients, I'd be so happy. I'd keep giving them some advice. But Fitz, just because we lost this case doesn't mean we can lose the next one. Let's keep going. Let's keep fighting. Let's try to make this work. Let's sue them for not telling us the date. Of the league. I'd be that guy. Like, at this point, I feel like, sometimes when you look at the legal system and you look at football, those are two things you don't think will ever cross paths. You don't quite think it will ever happen, except if a player is disputing a contract. But even with that, we go to FIFA. We don't go to the South African, you understand? So it's quite interesting. I mean, it's a case study for a lot of people. I'm sure when you're doing your coaching badges, let's look at the Royal AM case study, which is something that's very interesting. But let's move on to Kaizer Chiefs. Now, Willard Katsande, can you believe it's been 10 years? Of Willard Katsande at Kaizer Chiefs.
It didn't feel like 10 years, to be honest. I mean, it didn't feel like 10 years. When I read through the article, which was letting us know that he's not going to be getting a contract extension at Kaizer Chiefs, and it's 10 years. I'm like, so he was 25 when he came through, and he spent so many years there, and we thought that he was one of the mainstays in the team over the years. I mean, he was replacing, obviously, Tina Shenongo Masha. They were always looking for, a replacement for such a hard man in the middle, and they got it in Katsande. But it's just unfortunate that, so many years he's been part of the team, and, towards the end of his career at Kaizer Chiefs, things haven't been looking all too up for him. But I'm pretty sure he'll be glad and proud for the fact that, he'll be getting out of, he'll be leaving Kaizer Chiefs having at least played in the CAF final as well.
The problem with the South African football is that for players like Katsande, I mean, to make it to Chiefs at the age of 25, you've plateaued in your career because there's no higher place to go. There's no possible other better place to go. And then when you look at the whole 10 years he spent there, that's 308 appearances for the club. Now he's leaving the club at the age of 35, and he might go on to play for obscure sides. But it looks like once you've reached those levels, once you've reached your Kaizer Chiefs, your Sundowners, your Orlando Pirates, those clubs, once you reach them early, I mean, you plateau.
Yeah.
From there, it's like, okay, I just need to maintain this. There's no going any higher. I mean, if you look at Europe, I mean, the fact that you a player like Jordan Henderson, who's at Liverpool, who won the Champions League just 2 seasons ago, and still considering to leave, it shows you just how many big clubs are around Europe, and it allows players to have mobility to move around and go to other big clubs around the world. Imagine now if we had that in the continent, where players could go from Chiefs to Al Ahly, from Al Ahly to TP Mazembe. You know what I'm saying? It would make a more balanced out continent in terms of football, and I think that's what the chairman of the Continental Federation is trying to do. But let's talk about Katsande's trophy cabinet, because he's not been a man who's shied away from winning some silverware, especially when you arrive.
He was a hard worker. Yeah, he was a very hard worker.
There was even rumors about him not being able to pass because of all the tackling he made.
But yeah, in his 10 years at Kaizer Chiefs, he's only managed to win 3 titles. Two league titles, and 1 MTN 8. And I looking at the fact that he's been at the club for 10 years. I mean, this shows you how bad things have been at Kaizer Chiefs, for the past 10 years. I mean, Mamelodi Sundowns are now, of course, the team that are at the top of
team to beat.
They're the team to beat now in Africa, in South Africa rather. And I do think that he could have got a little bit more. I do think that he could have, won a bit more trophies, but it's just unfortunate, that that didn't happen. And we just have to wait and see whether he makes a move. Where does he make a move to? Will he be staying in the PSL? I mean, there's pretty much some clubs that are probably going to be looking into that.
All right, so let's just go on and talk about what's happening in Egyptian football. As you know, Al Ahly were facing Al Ahly, so we need to know what happened in that game. Let's go find out. The beautiful game is what they call it. For some people, they call it what? Soccer. But for us, it's the beautiful game. It's football. Let's talk about Al Ahly. You did mention that if they dropped any points, if they did drop a single point, they are chasing this title. They're chasing it from Zamalek. And Zamalek might just, the thing is, in situations like this, the rest of the league might be like, who's better to be a champion right now? The champions of Africa or Zamalek? And they might just be like, let's give Zamalek the 3 points. Let's just throw the games, let Zamalek win these games against us, just so we can keep Al Ahly quiet. So Al Ahly have it all to do at this moment in time. They played against Al Ahly. What happened?
It was a tough one. They almost actually lost it in yesterday's game. And they took the lead in the first half. Al Ahly came with 2 of their own goals in the second half, and there was 2-1 to Al Ahly until the last 10 minutes of the game when El Shahad scored a goal, as well as Walter Boyla scoring his 3rd goal of the season for Al Ahly, which is pretty much a disappointing figure for him. So yeah, it was very close for Al Ahly. They almost lost out in a chance to catch up with Zamalek. And right now, there are only 2 games away from them, and they're of course 6 points behind. So they do need those 2 wins to come for them, and if they are trying to catch up with them.
All right, so let's go to the website and go see basically how this fixtures played out. Don't forget to SMS Supatv to 30978. Obi knows, if you may, to the website we may go. Let's go to match info. Imagine statistics. Let's go to soccer. Let's look for Egypt. All right, Egypt right there. Zamalek. Yep, it's the Premier League right now. As you can see, Zamalek sitting top of the table on 61. They have not played since Al Ahly have been in action playing the catch-up game. But as you can see, 55 points where Al Ahly is right now with 2 games in hand. So they still have to play those next 2 games in order to be able to catch Zamalek, won that 61 points. But right now, like we said, the goal difference might be a biggest factor involved right now. But look at the goal difference. It's on 31 for Al Ahly right now, because they won that game 3-2, meaning that all those 2 goals they scored just fall away. When you look at the goal difference, they only managed to get 1 goal up, which means that Zamalek will be worried about that 1 goal up, because that means once they play the next 2 games and Al Ahly wins those 2 games, that means they're gonna go top of the table on goal difference. So we don't just click on Al Ahly quickly. Let us scroll down to their last and the next matches. So there it is, their last matches. As you can see, it hasn't been smooth sailing so far. They did draw against National Bank of Egypt, and they also drew against Pyramids, the team that was playing in the Confederations Cup. But as you can see, most of their games have been away, except for the game against National Bank and Pyramids, which is weird. Their away record is better than their home record based on these last 6 games. Let's go to the next match, Obinos. as you can see, they have another away game, which will be great news for them. In fact, their next two games are away, so which is great news for them because they've been performing quite well away. It's the home games that have been giving them a problem. But they face two teams that they believe they can win. I mean, if you don't know the name of the teams, you don't know their history, you can look at those numbers down the far left-hand side. So the nearest to me, basically, those numbers are the ones that tell you the difficulty of the opponent. So it says level 2, level 3. The only level 4 opponent is the Ismaili, who are going to be playing them on the 9th of next month. So they will be having some smooth sailing until then. The game against Cleopatra, that's also taking place in there. But the congestion of the games will be 29th, 2nd, the 5th, the 9th, the 12th. Maybe the schedule might be able to throw El Akli off and they might be able to drop points in one or two of these games. But being the Giants of Africa and being the Giants of the Egyptian Premier League, having won it again last season, it's a title they're defending. They might actually go all out. Obi knows your thoughts.
I do think it's going to be a very tough one for Al Ahly. I mean, you are right by saying, the schedule is a bit congested. They still have the Egypt Cup to play as well. They're still in that competition. So it's going to be tough for them to manage through, the schedule. And we are seeing already that with just two players out of the team, the defense looks a bit shaky. They look very, very shaky because they're conceding quite a lot in a space of what? In a space of 2 games, they've conceded 3 goals. So it's not something that is really, familiar with Al Ahly conceding a lot of goals. So I do think that it's going to be very concerning for Peter Mosimane at this point. So hopefully for them, they'll be able to keep up and change around the players when they get the chance to, because you need your players to be fresh for the big games as well. So we're hopefully we're hoping that Peter Mosimane will be able to manage these upcoming fixtures very well.
All right, so let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll continue the conversation by looking at what's happening elsewhere in world football. In fact, we might visit some leagues in Europe.
You are watching Supatv, OpenView channel 150.
How to register a new Supabets account. SMS Supatv to 30978 and you will receive an SMS with a sign-up link. Click the link you receive, which will direct you to the Supabets mobile site. Click login. On the pop-up, click register now. Fill in the required details on the form, from your ID number all the way to your contact details. Be sure to choose a strong password that you will remember. After filling in your details, click submit. In a few minutes, you should receive an OTP if your details were entered correctly. Back onto the Supabets mobile site, type in your OTP. In a few seconds, you will receive a welcome SMS confirming your new account. A 50 Rand sign-up bonus will reflect in your account within 24 hours of your sign-up. Welcome to our family. Supabets, bet with the biggest.
Sabawali winning ticket. Now Popa with Supabets. Simply SMS Supatv to 30978 and start playing.
Welcome back to Mosports. Now, I gotta address something, which is the WhatsApp messages that have been coming in. So you know who this is, you know who I am, you know what channel this is. If you don't remember, that's Obi knows. I'm Mo, and this is Mosports on Supatv, powered by Supabets. Now, let's see the WhatsApp messages about this issue that we've addressed today.
Can we first address the fact that Tebs didn't have a hat on? Let's give credit to the man.
He did it without a hat, no cap.
Did you see the trim on the man's hat?
No, but he made sure that the people can't say cap, you know what I'm saying? So as you can see, he says, oh no, cry faces. And then somebody says, you can't leave us.
Don't leave.
So you think that Tips thought about it, it's like, if I wear a cap, they might think I'm capping. So then, no cap. He's like, no cap. Maybe it's metaphorical.
Yeah, I like that.
You know what I'm saying?
I like the way you think.
This is why we've never worn caps on Mosports, because we don't want you to think we're capping. No, we're not capping. No cap right here. No cap zone.
fool, son.
Let's continue talking about what's happening in world football, starting off with what's happening in La Liga. Now, as you know, Memphis Depay is a Barcelona player. He's unveiling to some was just under par. They were like, their attire is not their one. Did he even take out the ball? Because I didn't see him
take out the ball.
You saw, you know why they don't actually show the taking of the ball anymore? Because Braithwaite ruined it for everyone.
Who came after Braithwaite? Because there was a person who came after Braithwaite and also did the same thing. Like, nah.
Braithwaite couldn't take away. He was like, why
Griezmann.
two? Griezmann could have at least done something. Braithwaite couldn't take her for anything. And don't forget, those unveilings were nice because of players like Ronaldinho, players like Ronaldo, who do like around the world, put it on his neck, bring it back, you know. But now, but Braithwaite only know how to pass and trap and then shoot.
Things aren't the same anymore.
They're not the same. Did Hazard even do the same thing? It was Hazard. I think Hazard couldn't do the around the world.
Also do that in Madrid.
Madrid? Every player that Madrid has signed has been an unveiling.
come and
Big namers. Yeah, must come tech. Ronaldo was the biggest one. I guess he had the record for the second biggest reveal or the biggest reveal, but one of the top two, I think, reveals in terms of signings. But
Who was number one?
I think it was at Figo. Because when Figo left, when he joined Real Madrid, like the whole world came. What? Figo was at Madrid. How could he do this to Barcelona? So yeah, top two. So let's talk about Memphis Depay. I saw him running around in pink Barcelona jersey.
Yeah. He got his Barcelona career starting off in a good way. We do understand it's still pre-season, you know, but they had a game against Girona yesterday. Yes, it was yesterday, and he scored a penalty. So yeah, he's off the mark. You know, we can say he's off the mark, and in fact,
They don't count those ones.
No, in fact, he had a brilliant performance throughout the game. You know, he looked very lively. He looked like a live wire, and I do think that, you know, any Barcelona fan who watched that game, they have every right to be excited, you know, with seeing Memphis Depay don that Barcelona jersey.
All right, so that is wearing number 7.
Number 9.
Okay, no, he's yet to. He's wearing number 9.
Yeah.
What is Braithwaite wearing? Is Braithwaite even wearing anything this season?
Braithwaite might just be, I don't know, bro. I don't know if Braithwaite's on the way.
But speaking about players that might be leaving the club, we talk about Clement Langley. So now Barcelona with their financial drama, does this mean that Langley has an opportunity to go and join Jose Mourinho?
Big question, but you're looking at the defenders that Barcelona have, the centre backs rather that Barcelona have. I mean, the only one which they can say they trust is Gerard Piqué, but Gerard Piqué himself didn't have a great season last season. Doesn't look like, you know, that Gerard Piqué we've known over the years. I mean, time is really not on his side anymore. So they don't have a lot of, you know, experienced players. I mean, Umtiti's injury prone, you know, he's never around, he's never available. And Clement Langley is pretty much the only left-footed left back they have. I mean, left-footed centre back they have in the team. So it's going to be very difficult for them to try and let him go, and especially for 15 million, because that's what Roma are offering. And you know, Jose Mourinho, of course, is going to be trying to bring in as many quality players that he can bring in at Roma. So his budget might be a bit tight, but he's going to definitely try and bring in as much quality as possible. But I don't see Clement Langley actually leaving unless Barcelona are really, really serious about having a very lean defense.
Well, you know what we should do? We should actually go look at what Jose Mourinho is working with in Italy, because I know that Chris Smalling is there. If I'm not mistaken, he has Pedro in there as well. I think he has Mkhitaryan in there.
Yeah.
Like, he has a good side. It's not that he has a bad side. He just needs to plug up some. And knowing Mourinho, I mean, he's looking at bargain signings right now. He's thinking to himself, I'm going to spend 50 million on this guy. He's a season campaigner. I mean, he's a quality player. I mean, if Barcelona let him go, I'd be very worried about Barcelona. I'd be like, for Umtiti. Umtiti, come on. Because Umtiti sometimes...
Can't trust Umtiti.
But that doesn't end there when it comes to Barcelona. What else is going on at the club?
Eli Moriba, one of the youngsters that we saw coming through in the past season, you know, coming in from La Masia. And we were saying that, you know, Barcelona have let go of the tradition of bringing players into, you know, their squad from La Masia. And we saw, we would say, you know, Pedri is not part of La Masia, but rather Moriba came out of the La Masia development. And ever since then, of course, you know, he was also given a squad number now. He wears the jersey number 27 now. But he's, of course, joined a different sporting agency, and a German sporting agency. And of course, they are demanding the world for Moriba from Barcelona. And we know exactly what Barcelona is going through in terms of financial worries. They're trying to cut, you know, a lot of wage bills as well. So for Moriba and his entourage to be, you know, requiring a whole lot of money, it's not in Barcelona's plans. So what did Barcelona do about it? They told Moriba to go and train with Barcelona B, right, with the B team, and he started training with them, but he did say that he's not going to play, and indeed he didn't play the game that they had on Friday. And that, of course, is going to cause a stir, because you know, it's a bit of disrespect towards the club, you know, towards the president as well, because, you know, we can only afford this, and you want that. And you know, the way that I'm reading about it, it looks like the German agency are treating Moriba as if he's a star that has already arrived. And Barcelona don't think so. They do think that he's got a whole lot of potential. But for him to be receiving a huge contract at the age he's at and at the the amount of games he's played for Barcelona in the first team, it's not really enough for him to be getting a mega contract. So that's where they are right now. It's undisputed what's going to happen. The father came out and said that we had a lot of offers. We had offers from City, we had offers from Chelsea and Juventus, but we opted to stay in Barcelona. So we are going to be looking to stay in Barcelona. I just wonder how they're going to remedy this whole situation from now on.
Barcelona dug its own grave of it. All those big signings, I think the Neymar money, like when you get like a deposit 10,000 rand and you start thinking that you have money, then you spend 20. That's what happened with Barcelona. Because if you think about it, the purchase of Coutinho, the purchase of Ousmane Dembele, the getting of Pjanic on a free, they've gotten Frankie de Jong is also there. They've gotten a lot of signings in. And for them, they've been a club that's able to feed from La Masia, meaning they don't have to pay high wage bills. I mean, when you pay Iniesta and Xavi, the development wages for one season, these are players that are coming to a system. Now you're talking about a Barcelona that has all these big names they're not using. They have your Braithwaite that are not performing. Your Ousmane Dembele who will dribble and shoot one time, and then we say he's back, and then 2-4 games he's been gone for. But it's killing them now, this wage bill. And I think that this is the time that Barcelona should consider, not just consider, actually implement just letting some of these players go, because that wage bill is congested and they don't want to find themselves with a ban having spent 2 seasons without signing. That's really going to sink them. But I was thinking as you were talking, Obi knows, does this mean that, how they would say there was an internet bubble in the 1990s and it popped at some point? Has the Spanish football bubble popped? Because thinking about it, the late 2000s, the early 2010s, Spanish football dominated. They dominated everything. Champions League, Europa League, the World Cups, the Euros. They come into the later 2010s and this is starting to pop. I mean, the Xavis, the Iniestas, all those players that were pivotal to what Spanish football was all about, they've now all retired. And it looks like now Spanish football doesn't know how to put a team together. Because you look at Real Madrid, they're going through woes. You're looking at Barcelona, they're going through woes. Atletico Madrid picked up the title. It's looking like they're in tatters at the moment. Do you think that it's popped?
You could say that, right? To an extent. But I looked at the squad that they sent out to the Euros compared to the squad they sent out to the Olympics, right? There's some notable names from both the teams who went there, So likable names. Simon in goals, he's there as well. Oriazabal, he's the captain of the team there. Pedri's in there as well. So I do think that from the performance they gave at the Euros, despite them, they were not favorites at all. The fans weren't happy with the selection. Also no Madrid players were in that squad. This time around, there's been a bit more, addition. Marco Asensio is part of the team in the Olympics. So I do think that, what Luis Enrique was meant to do was to phase in a new, breed of players, a new generation. And I would say that with the performance that we saw at the Euros and where they finished, they are on the right path. And depending on how, of course, they play as well at the Olympics, that will tell us how ready they are or how close they are to being ready for next year's World Cup. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But I don't think that it's all doom and gloom at this present moment. I do think that there's a rebuild going on and it's looking very positive.
Quickly, at club level?
At club level, we could say that there's a bit of a problem. We could say there's a bit of a problem because of the fact that we haven't seen a Spanish team dominating in the Champions League since Real Madrid did. So I think there's a little bit more that could be done, and I think the Super League as well was a big thing that's going to also put things in tatters as well for the whole league of La Liga. But I still do think that with the quality players that are coming out of Real Madrid, the quality players coming out of Barcelona who are Spanish, they might just hold up Spanish football in the next few years.
So Manchester United want Rafael Varane, but it looks like Rafael Varane also wants Manchester United. So is that a done deal? Should you expect to see a medical this week?
It's not a done deal as yet. Rafael Varane is still in Madrid right now. He's still training with the club, despite him making it clear that he would like to be getting another challenge. He did say that he's not going to be extending his contract at Real Madrid, but he is looking for a bigger challenge, and there's no other club that is chasing for Rafael Varane at this point besides Man United. So it looks like it's something that's possibly going to happen in the next week or so. So I do expect it to happen because the teams are going to be meeting up this week as well to discuss the deal or how they're going to work it out. But I do think that Real Madrid do need the money firstly, but they also do have a shortage of defenders. But I do think that they can be able to patch it up if Carlo Ancelotti is really really keen to let go of Varane.
So Rangers went on to face Carlo Ancelotti's Real Madrid in the club friendlies, and they lost out. I mean, Real Madrid lost out to Rangers 2-1. Who knows? It is not a bad example of what might happen this season.
I think it's
getting beat by Rangers.
I think it's preseason still. It's preseason still, but there are a bit of worrying, points in the game from yesterday. Marcelo being one of them. He was leading the team, was the captain of the team. Didn't look like the Marcelo that you would usually associate with Real Madrid. He's that skillful player who's got rhythm. Going forward as well, he's a bomb. But we didn't see a lot of that from him. And I do think that over the past 2 seasons under Zinedine Zidane, we've seen him getting phased out quite a lot. Ferland Mendy looks like he's the option for Real Madrid in the left back position. So I don't know how they're going to handle it, because he is obviously one of their most experienced players in the team, but he's not up to scratch. So I do think that they might just be looking to phase him out a bit further more and bring, with the likes of Alaba coming in. I do think that the centre back position is kind of full, but with Ferland Mendy on the left back, I think Marcelo just might be getting phased out a bit by bit.
He might want to consider going to win the Copa Libertadores. So now let's move on to Ligue 1 and go look at what's happening in terms of the French football game. PSG is what we're talking about. All right, let's go. All right, so I gotta say that I said, Obino said, okay, Obino didn't quite say it, but we thought that PSG should be signing Paul Pogba. Well, at this moment in time, does Pogba want to go to PSG?
He does now. He didn't want a couple of years ago, but he does now. But
so
the question's not with him, though.
Yeah, let's hear this drama about the fans not wanting him to come in.
Yes, the fans are the problem. The fans are the problem now. The fans actually put up a banner at the stadium at Parc de France. They put up a banner at the stadium. So outside the stadium, there's a banner that actually says, listen to your mom. She doesn't want you here. We don't want you here too. So that's where it stands right now with Paul Pogba.
Like, listen to your mom. Why are they saying he should listen to his mom?
Because his mom doesn't want him to play for Paris Saint-Germain, and this is where it comes in, right? This is what Paul Pogba said back in 2018 in an
So wait, do you have a picture of this banner?
Yeah, we have a picture of the banner. We can actually bring the picture.
Let's see the picture of this banner. Listen to your mom.
Yeah, it said. So that is right outside.
I know I expected it to be English.
No, it had to be translated. Pogba, you should listen to your mother. She doesn't want you here, neither do we. So that is the defined fans of PSG who don't want Paul Pogba to be there. But this is the reason why. The next graphic is the graphic of what Paul Pogba had said during a press conference back in 2018, right?
He was playing for Man United.
He was still playing for Man United at the time. And this is what he had to say. This is what Paul Pogba said during that press conference. He said, I'm sure that I wouldn't play club football at the Parc des Princes, right? Which is the stadium of Paris Saint-Germain. Yeah. And he says, I'm not attracted to that because my father and mother were fans of Marseille, so Paris don't really fit into my plans. So that's what Paul Pogba said back in May 2018. And right now, of course, PSG are going to be trying to pay his wages. And now I think he's changed his mind.
But you understand what I'm face? Because the moment he said my mom and dad don't want me there.
Yeah.
But then the guy on the banner said just your mom. But now it becomes a problem.
I know.
It's personal now.
You're exaggerating.
No, I'm saying, but it's personal now. Inform my papa to say your mama and your papa don't want you here. We don't want you here either. Don't just pick one side. But thank you for joining us. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation.
Magic. Bye.
You are watching Supatv, OpenView, channel 150.
Pondo, no problem. Now ungapopa with Supabets. Simply SMS Super TV to 30978 and start playing.
You are watching Super TV, Open View, channel 150.
Welcome back to Mosports on Super TV powered by Supabets. I'm Mo, this is Obi Knows, and we are talking all things football. The one thing we haven't been able to do quite was actually go on the website and look at some of these teams and make some of our bets. We need to look at the Roma squad, we need to look at Zinedine Zidane squad, no, Carlo Ancelotti squad, Real Madrid squad. I knew you wanted to correct me there. It's like, It's kind of weird how Zinedine Zidane has moved on. It doesn't quite feel like he's moved on, but let's carry on with what we're here to talk about. Serie A, Obi knows. Now, as you know, Christian Eriksen had that near-death experience, and then he got revived, and now I've been reading about a defibrillator. I've been reading that he cannot play without a defibrillator. Can he play without, or he cannot play without? What is it?
So he will not be the first player, firstly, to play with a defibrillator, all right?
What is it?
A defibrillator.
Yeah.
What you laughing at?
No.
Did I say it wrong?
No, he said it right.
Defibrillator.
I'm just having you. Carry on.
So he's not the first, right? The player who's currently playing with a defibrillator is playing at his former club, Daily Blind, for Ajax.
He's playing with the defibrillator.
Yes, he's playing with the defibrillator. So what it does is that, when, like Christian Eriksen, we saw what happened. He got what we would say it's a cardiac arrest. What it was, right? It was a
You're right,
cardiac
you're not
arrest.
wrong.
Cardiac
You're right,
arrest.
yeah.
And so with a defibrillator, once that happens again, it will, it'll shock his heart, and he will, revive. It will revive him. So now, according to Italian Serie A healthy and safety regulations, you're not allowed to play with a defibrillator. So the only way Eriksen can play with a defibrillator is if he doesn't have one. And now that means that if he doesn't have one, right, at this present moment, if he plays without one, that means he's not fit to play elite sport. So the Serie A cannot let him play with a defibrillator in his body, and they cannot let him play, of course, without, because he will not be fit to play elite sport.
So for those of you that don't know what a defibrillator is that thing we've seen in movies where they go, you see that thing? So basically how a defibrillator works, apparently every sports center, gyms, whatever, they're supposed to have a defibrillator in the building in case anyone has cardiac arrest. So when you do CPR and you are doing those pumps, you're not actually doing that to wake the person up. You're doing that to pump blood through their body so their brain does not get a lack of oxygen. So that's why if someone's heart stops, you pump. The reason why you're pumping is that you're moving the blood to their brain. That constantly keeps the brain alive. And if the brain is alive, that means the person can still be revived. You understand? So a defibrillator basically will take an electric current from this side and take it out on the other side, because electricity has a place of entry and a place of exit, which basically means that if they're hitting it from here to here, it's shocking electricity through the heart and back out, which gets the pump, the rhythm back into the heart. So with the defibrillator that he quite has at this moment in time, it just means that if his heart starts to beat irregularly, that means his defibrillator will then send a shock through the heart to repace it. So that's what a defibrillator is. So apparently at your local gym, at your local big supermarkets like big malls, you should ask if they have a defibrillator. If anyone wants to fall in a mall, we have to ask, first question you have to ask, where do you guys have a defibrillator? If they do, then you keep doing CPR until the defibrillator arrives. Once it arrives, it's a very basic device, because when you switch it on, it has instructions. So it tells you that, switch me on, and then it tells you, okay, now put the pads on the chest according to plus and minus, blah, 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 blah. Then you can carry on with that. So what did the chairman of the club have to say about that?
Well, the chairman of the club didn't come out to say anything as yet.
Yeah.
But there is a doctor who was part of the Serie A, the Italian Serie A committee, right? His name is Francesco Braccanero, right? And he had to come out, and this is what he had to say about the situation of Christian Eriksen. He says that the heart, right? He says that Christian Eriksen cannot be given the all clear to play in Italy if the player has the defibrillator removed, therefore confirming the pathology can be resolved, then he can return to play for Inter. So, like I said, but
is it,
furthermore, right? Furthermore, is that when you read the article further, it will tell you that without the defibrillator, right? He's still not fit enough to play the elite sport, according to Italian Serie A.
If he's hard stops,
Because if he's hard stops, it's another problem, you know? So I do think that, you know, I had this conversation with, I can't remember who I had this conversation with, just like 2 days ago. And I did say, like, there's a lot of players who have lost their lives on the field. You know, quite a lot have lost their lives on the field. And for Christian Eriksen, I feel at the age of, 28, 29, I think he's accumulated more than enough money to retire from football. I mean, why would you want to take a chance on your life? You've seen already what's happened. Why are you still trying to force to have a footballing career? I mean, we know how bad it is to, not make it in football. Like, we know the pain of not being able to make it into football. But you've already earned, your life in football. You know, you've done so many things in your career. Why are you risking your life? You've got kids, you've got a family. Focus on that, and that's my appeal to Christian Eriksen. Like, he's a beautiful footballer. I love what he brings to a team. But sometimes it's just a bit larger than football. It's more about life than football right now.
So we know Fabio Patrici. Yeah. Who is that? Is it the guy Tottenham Hotspur?
Yes, Fabio Patrici. Paracici.
So why are you saying he's trying to turn the Serie A into a supermarket?
Simply because he's going there to buy everything and everybody that's in the Serie A.
For Tottenham?
Yeah, for Tottenham Hotspur. He first tried bringing in Antonio Conte. That didn't work out. Of course, Antonio Conte thought the team was not ambitious enough. And then you're looking at who they're trying to bring in at the club as well. They're trying to bring in the player by the likes of Christian Romero, the centre-back who just won the Copa America with Argentina. And Spurs have actually just welcomed a goalkeeper by the name of Pierluigi Golini. And this is a goalkeeper who was part of Aston Villa a couple of seasons ago before making a move to Atalanta. So he was also wanted by Juventus, but because of Paracici's, I would say his connections, he managed to get the deal in through, and Golini finds himself at Tottenham Hotspur for a season loan. So it's currently what's going on, at Tottenham Hotspur. They are looking for so many talents that can, be patched up into the squad so they can have a very competitive squad, because I do feel that that's something that they really lacking. I mean, once you've gone through the first 11, on the bench you have Harry Winks. Come on, you need to, improve on that. And I do think that that's one thing that Paracici is trying to do right now at Tottenham Hotspur.
Well, that's one man in the Premier League who has ambition. Let's move on to the EPL and talk about what's happening there, because when it comes to the EPL, there's always drama. This is good thing. Look, Obi knows is not a wise man. He's a very smart man. You know what I mean? And as being a smart man sometimes means that you have to share those smarts with Arsenal. And it's not something that happens every day. And Obi knows this one time, he came correct with this one, because at the time Abraham might be going to Arsenal. Is it done?
It's not done as yet, but terms between Arsenal and Tammy Abraham have been agreed. I mean, Tammy Abraham is requiring 125,000 euros a week. That's something that Arsenal feel like they can afford. And they're going to obviously agree on personal terms. So now the question will be, will Arsenal allow not Arsenal, but Chelsea. Will Chelsea allow Tammy Abraham to leave the club? Because apparently he could be leaving the club for about 30 million euros, which for me is, I think it's quite enough.
That's great news for Chelsea.
It's great news for Chelsea, but I do think that it's a good price tag for a player who's got so much potential. He's only 23 years old. He's pretty much proved himself a bit in the Premier League. So I do think that Arsenal are obviously going to be trying to take someone out, rather, to be able to balance the books so they can bring in Tammy Abraham. And word is that the person who could be leaving is none other than Alexandre Lacazette. He could be on his way out, and I'm thinking to myself, with what's going on at Crystal Palace, Patrick Vieira's there, and he's losing a few, players quite a lot of players who are also, the experienced players. Maybe might be looking to bring in a striker, because Palace haven't had an out-and-out striker, someone who will get you 10 goals a season. They don't even have that. So maybe Alexandre Lacazette might find himself there. It's just something that I'm thinking maybe it could just fit out for Crystal Palace, because apparently Arsenal are willing to let him go for also about 15 million.
You know what this means, everybody at home? It means that if this man right here follows in the footsteps of David Luiz, follows in the footsteps of Willian, and goes from Chelsea to Arsenal. David Luiz did some PSG things in between. But the point is, if he does this, guys, this opens the window, the door for Lewandowski to go to Chelsea and for Haaland to go to Bayern Munich, for Bayern to go win the Champions League next season. Guys, this is fantastic news. And the thing is, what makes it so possible is that Patrick Vieira is an Arsenal legend. When he calls, You know what I mean? You gotta answer yourself when he's like, dude, I need Lacazette. You're not gonna fight with him. You'll be like, okay, take him. And Lacazette honestly needs a fresh breath because since arriving at Arsenal, he's not been the player that they sold him to be. Not only that, since arriving at Arsenal, he was supposed to be the main man. Then Aubameyang came in and became the main man. If he goes to Crystal Palace, he has the opportunity. Not just to be another squad player, not just to be the star man, to be the main man at a club that will look to him for goals, which is something that you express right now. So for me, let's make this one happen. In fact, let's take a break before we jinx it. Let's just take a break.
You are watching Super TV, Open View, channel 150.
How to register a new Supabets account. SMS Supatv to 30978 and you will receive an SMS with a sign-up link. Click the link you receive, which will direct you to the Supabets mobile site. Click login. On the pop-up, click register now. Fill in the required details on the form, from your ID number all the way to your contact details. Be sure to choose a strong password that you will remember. After filling in your details, click submit. In a few minutes, you should receive an OTP if your details were entered correctly. Back onto the Supabets mobile site, type in your OTP. In a few seconds, you will receive a welcome SMS confirming your new account. A 50 Rand sign-up bonus will reflect in your account within 24 hours of your sign-up. Welcome to our family. Supabets, bet with the biggest.
Here is a story about a hit.
If it does not get you close to 21, then you can ask the dealer to hit you, give you an additional.
No. Hit me, Kanjan.
You want to hit again?
I said it with my chest.
Let's change your mind about being hit.
Just a little shy, yeah. Hit me. Real men don't stand. Hit me. Hit me again.
I shall.
How to understand a hit.
What was that?
Hit me. You
do
take
it.
a risk on this side. You hit.
You
Hit the ball.
hit. Go bust on that hand.
To hit or not to hit.
This is just a game. That's quick, bang. Boom! It's a 3. It's a 3. Watch this.
It's a 3. It's a 21, bro!
Watch us play blackjack on Super TV, channel 150 on OpenView. Or hit that thing yourself when you SMS Super TV to 30978. Super TV, let's play.
You are watching Super TV, Open View, channel 150.
Hello and welcome back to Mosports. If you're just joining us, well, we talk all things football here on the show, and we've gotten to that part of the show where we need to start wrapping up. So, Obi knows, let's talk about what you're saying is the old and the new era.
That's the squad you sent me yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, you sent me a squad yesterday of...
Did you use the graphic I sent you?
Yes, I did.
Let's see the squad. I'm just excited to see what people think of what has been put in here. So here is the squad that they're saying is we're missing the goalkeeper from the bottom, but let's start from the top because the goalkeeper at the bottom is also German. So at the top it says Oliver Kahn, Maldini, Nesta, Cafu, and Carlos. So this is basically AC Milan featuring Real Madrid in the defense. You have Andrea Pirlo, Zidane, Beckham, Giggs, Ronaldo, Ronaldinho. So now, by looking at that 11, this guy is either a Real Madrid fan or a Manchester United fan. I don't know. Huh?
Why Man United? Because of Giggs.
No, because of Giggs, dude. Giggs, Beckham, Ronaldo.
Also, this guy's playing Giggs on the wrong flank. Don't you know Giggs was a master of a cross?
Yeah, no, he's playing Giggs on the wrong flank. And also, why do you need crosses if you have Cafu and let's move on.
What do you mean?
No, check.
Cafu?
No, let's just check. I'm saying, why do you need people throw balls in the box when you have Cafu?
Yeah, I get that. But still.
All right, and then the other person, let's call him Travis, he went with this team. He said, Manuel Neuer goals, Ramos, Silva, Lam, Marcelo. Okay, forgive him for that defense.
How?
Dude, I don't even know. I don't want to have that fight with him because where's your Vidicis? You know, where are those people? It's just Silva, Ramos.
Yeah, Ramos could stay.
In every other 11, Ramos would have been on Lam's position at right back. And then somebody else would have filled in there, and then Lam would have been thrown out. But Lam is a German legend, so let's not take that away from him. Iniesta, Modric playing defensive midfielder with Ozil playing in attacking midfield.
Akuna balance.
Akuna balance lapha. Kule midfield phase, akuna kharaf mfethu. Hayi. I think the top team is a little bit more balanced than the one at the bottom. But even with that one, too many wingers going on in that team. Like, you don't have any balance because Pirlo, Beckham, Zidane, like, no.
In that team at the top, I think they started that team at the top.
Yeah.
That team at the top, it needs a Kharafu in the middle there because Pirlo's not going to do that for you.
But as well, do a Kharafu on the other side. Because you see, even with the front three, Suarez, Messi, Ronaldo, let's put this away, Obi knows. Like, when I saw this, I asked myself, what era of football is this person looking at when he says new? Because I'm looking at these players and I'm like, oh, these guys are 30 plus.
Yeah.
All of the players, they are 30 plus.
I guess,
Unless you were saying 40 plus and 30 plus, you know what I'm saying? That makes a little bit more sense. But Oliver Kahn, dude, Oliver Kahn is 50 plus. Like, before you fetching Oliver Kahn is done. Edwin van der Sar, maybe, you know what I'm saying? Like, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, he went too far with the goalkeeper. But then with the defense, Maldini and Nesta, and then Pirlo in the mid, that makes sense with that.
I think the goalkeeper in there then, if we're taking out Oliver Kahn, definitely has to be Iker Casillas. That was the best goalkeeper throughout the 2000s.
You know what, Obi, let's go to the website because
Throughout the early 2000s.
The early 2000s or the late 2000s?
I get it that the team at the top is the early 2000s. It's between 2000 and 2010.
Yeah.
That's the team at the top.
But also Casillas won a lot in that time.
Casillas,
so I understand.
Casillas, there's no keeper was better than Casillas in the 2000, the early 2000 era. And then when you come to
the defense,
defense is solid now.
Defense, you go for the back three, Cannavaro, Nesta, and then you put Maldini there, you're done.
So you take out Cafu and Roberto Carlos.
Boy, I understand Cafu and Roberto Carlos are nice, but I play them as wing backs. And then midfield, then I can play Pirlo and have an excuse, you know what I'm saying? Then in the front, then I can go with Ronaldo Nazario with Ronaldinho up front, and we'll put Gattuso and Pirlo there. Clar, you're not going to tell me anything. This AC Milan side made it to the Champions League 3 times in 1 decade, Obino.
Yeah, but
3 times!
That's why they have Cafu. That's why they have Cafu. They have Nesta and thing. You don't need a Cannavaro in there, my friend.
You don't need a Cannavaro.
But you don't need a Cannavaro. You've got.
Winning defend.
But you don't need him in there, boy.
You know what?
So you're telling me Maldini and Nesta can't do nothing without Cannavaro?
No, they can do something without Cannavaro. What I'm saying is, if we're gonna look at the full 2000s, boy, you can't leave Cannavaro out of that chat, boy. We need a bullet door winning defender there. Maybe we can leave Nesta out. Then you say Maldini, Cannavaro.
Okay, we'll know. We're not leaving anyone out. We're making a back three there then. Making a back three, we'll give the Italian back three. You know, we'll put Maldini, we'll have the Italian back three. Then the wing back, I'll keep Roberto Carlos on the left. On the right, I don't know about Cafu staying there in the right the wing back.
Really?
Yeah.
Who must go into the right back?
You need someone who,
Elvis.
Power boy. You know what I'm saying?
Elvis was 2010s.
But yeah, Elvis is 2010, so he's going to that. We'll keep Cafu there. We
only have a minute left.
When we come to the middle there, Zidane needs to be shifted up top, so we have to get rid of Ryan Giggs firstly.
Yeah, Giggs has to go.
Giggs
and Beckham need to go. Both of them.
Giggs and Beckham
for me, they have to go.
So for Beckham, we put in Gattuso.
Yeah,
right?
Gennaro.
Come and Faga,
Then we put in Stevie G as the captain. Midfield 3 of Pirlo, Stevie G, and Gattuso. Think about it. Wait. Gattuso, Pirlo, Zidane. Okay, that's a midfield 3. Who's playing the wings and the striker? Then we can leave Stevie G out.
The wings and striker. We keep Ronaldinho. We keep Nazario.
Figo. Thank you for joining us today on Mosports. As you can see, the boys know their game, and we hope you know the game too. Sorry for sharing the sad news, but it is reality and these things do happen. We'll see you again on Wednesday from 1 to 2 p.m. here on Supatv, powered by Supabets.
You are watching Super TV, Open View, channel 150.
I do not have, I think. Yeah, I love art. I like, there's a guy, Anton Smith. I love his work very much, yeah. But I don't have at the moment. My pictures are the ones that are arts, very memorable.